Have you ever wondered how the names of currencies were formed? Let's journey back in time and unravel the fascinating stories behind them. The concept of currency, a medium of exchange for goods and services, has been intrinsic to human society for centuries. It's not merely about pieces of paper or metal coins. It's a symbol of a nation's economic strength and cultural history. But today, we're going to focus on an often overlooked aspect, the etymology of currency names. The narrative of currency names begins with the shekel, one of the earliest known currencies. The term shekel hails from the ancient world, specifically the Akkadian Empire, which was a Semitic-speaking empire based in Mesopotamia. The Akkadian language gave us shekel, a term that simply means weight. It's fascinating, isn't it? The value of this ancient currency was based on a specific weight of barley, which reflects the agrarian society of the time. The shekel was not just a unit of currency, but also a unit of weight, used across different cultures and civilizations, including the ancient Egyptians, Hebrews, and Greeks. This dual role underscores the practical origins of currency in facilitating trade and commerce. Now, it's important to note that the etymology of currency names is not always straightforward. They are often intertwined with historical events, cultural shifts, and linguistic evolutions. These names serve as markers, pointing us back to bygone eras and offering glimpses into how societies functioned. So the journey of currency names starts from the ancient times with shekel, which simply means weight. But where do we go from there? Let's delve deeper. Tune in to the next episode where we'll explore the birth of the pound and the dollar. Until then, keep pondering the stories behind the currencies in your wallet. You never know what historical treasures you might uncover. From weights and measures, we move on to livestock and precious metals. Let's dive into the birth of the pound and dollar, two of the most widely recognized currencies today. The term pound is a relic from the Roman Empire. It's derived from the Latin word libra, which was a unit of weight roughly equivalent to 328.9 grams. The phrase libra pondo meant a pound by weight in Latin and was used to refer to a pound of silver. As the Roman Empire expanded, this system of measurement spread across Europe. In England, the pound became associated with the currency, evolving into the pound sterling, with sterling signifying little star in Old Norman, a nod to the small stars that once adorned the design of medieval English coins. Now let's cross the Atlantic to the origins of the dollar. The term dollar can be traced back to the silver mines of Joachimsthal, now Yakimov, a town in what is now the Czech Republic. In the 16th century, large silver coins known as Joachimsthalers were minted from the silver extracted from these mines. Over time, Joachimsthalers was shortened to thalers and then became daalders in Dutch and dollars in English. When the United States was a budding nation in the late 18th century, it needed a national currency to facilitate trade and solidify its economic independence. Drawing inspiration from the Spanish dollar, which was widely circulated in the Americas at the time, the United States adopted the dollar as its official currency. So, the pound and dollar have their roots in precious metals. But not all currencies are named after tangible things. As we continue our journey into the history of currency names, we'll encounter some that are named after abstract concepts, historical figures, and even animals. But that's a story for another scene. Stay tuned. What if I told you that some currencies are named after abstract concepts? With that intriguing thought, let's dive into the origins of the yen, yuan, and rupee. First on the list is the Japanese yen. The term yen literally means a round object in Japanese, a concept that harks back to the shape of the coins. In the late 19th century, Japan wanted to modernize its economy and replace the complex system of rice and feudal currency. The government decided to adopt a decimal system, and the yen, a round object, was born. The shape was familiar, the concept was simple, and thus, the yen found its place in Japanese society. Moving to our next currency, the Chinese yuan shares a similar story. The word yuan also translates to round object in Chinese. But there's a little twist here. In ancient China, before paper money, coins were cast in the shape of a round object with a square hole in the middle. This design was believed to symbolize the earth and the heavens, a round sky above a square earth. So, when paper money was introduced, the name stuck, and the currency was called yuan, reflecting its historical and cultural roots. Lastly, we travel to the Indian subcontinent to explore the rupee. This term originates from the Sanskrit word rupiah, which means wrought silver. Silver coins were widely used in trade and commerce across ancient India. The term rupiah was used to denote these silver coins. As time evolved, the term was anglicized to rupee, which is now the official currency of India. So, from round objects to wrought silver, we've seen a variety of inspirations for currency names. But what about those that are named after people? Sometimes a nation's currency is named to honor a significant figure in its history. This brings us to the Bolivar, the official currency of Venezuela. It's named after Simon Bolivar, a monumental figure in Latin American history. Bolivar was a military leader who played a pivotal role in the region's struggle for independence from the Spanish Empire. His efforts were so instrumental that he's often referred to as the Liberator. In 1879, Venezuela decided to pay a fitting tribute to this national hero by naming their currency after him. The Bolivar serves as a constant reminder of the country's journey to freedom and the man who made it possible. Moving across the Atlantic, we find ourselves in Poland, home of the zloty. The zloty, which translates to golden in English, harkens back to a time when the currency was indeed made of gold. The name dates back to the Middle Ages, a time when the Polish economy was dominated by gold coins. In fact, the zloty was initially a gold coin issued in the Kingdom of Poland in the late 14th century. In 1924, following a period of hyperinflation after World War I, Poland decided to reintroduce the zloty as their official currency. The name served as a nod to the nation's golden days of economic stability and prosperity. It's fascinating how the names of currencies can encapsulate the spirit of a nation. The Bolivar reminds Venezuelans of their struggle for independence and the man who led them to freedom. The zloty takes the Polish back to their prosperous past when their currency was made of gold. It's as if these names are a direct link to the past, allowing us to touch upon a slice of history every time we use them. So from honoring national heroes to golden times, currency names carry the essence of a nation's history. So we've traveled through time and across continents exploring the origins of various currency names, from the ancient Romans to the modern-day Brits, from the far reaches of the East to the bustling centers of the West. We've discovered the fascinating stories behind the names we so often take for granted. We started our journey with the birth of currency names, learning that they're more than just random designations. They're a reflection of the people who created them, their culture, their history, and their economy. We then dove into the origins of the pound and dollar, two of the most widely recognized currencies today. The pound, a term rooted in the weight of silver, and the dollar, a name derived from the German thaler, a large silver coin used throughout Europe. We continued our journey to Asia, where we explored the yen, yuan, and rupee. The yen, meaning round object in Japanese, the yuan, a Chinese term for round coin, and the rupee, a word rooted in the Sanskrit term rupiah, meaning wrought silver. Next, we ventured to South America and Eastern Europe, where we discovered the stories behind the Bolivar and zloty. The Bolivar, named in honor of Simon Bolivar, the liberator of several South American countries, and the zloty, a Polish term for golden, reflecting the coin's original composition. Each of these currency names carries a unique story, a piece of the past that continues to live on in our pockets and wallets. They are reminders of the rich and diverse tapestry of human history, a testament to our shared journey through time. So the next time you find yourself spending a pound, saving a dollar, exchanging yen, or counting zloty, take a moment to appreciate the history behind those names. Next time you hold a banknote or a coin, remember, it's not just money, it's a piece of history, a story waiting to be told.